Good morning. Commissioners, guests, welcome to the November 18th Economic Development Authority meeting. I am going to try to raise the enthusiasm level here as best I can. We have a great meeting and a lot of interesting topics to talk about. I'm particularly pleased to get some more information on our capital program, which we'll hear about later in the agenda. Given that, Brian, will you do the roll call?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Morning.
Mr. Mitchell.
Here.
Mr. Barber.
Here.
Mrs. Saunders Smith.
Here.
Mr. Brown is absent. Mrs. Cherry.
Here.
Mr. Harmon.
Here.
And Mr. Morgan.
Here.
Chair, we do have a quorum.
Great. As always, I trust that everyone had an opportunity to review the October 21st EDA meeting minutes. Having done so, I move for adoption of the minutes if there are no changes or revisions.
Second.
Motion as second. Is there any discussion on the item? Hearing none. Mr. Mitchell.
Yes.
Mr. Barber.
Aye.
Mrs. Saunders Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Brown is absent. Mrs. Cherry.
Yes.
Mr. Harmon.
Yes.
And Mr. Morgan.
Yes.
Chair, the item is approved by a vote of 6-0.
Great. This time we will review our financial report.
Chair, it appears the finance department was not able to attend this morning. I did not receive the report in advance of the meeting, so it looks like we'll need to defer this item to your December meeting.
Moving to the next item, Brian, will you go over the waterfront development for ordinance?
Yes, thank you, Chair. If we could advance to the next slide, just want to give you a quick update on where we stand with regards to the schedule for the development of the Crawford Bay site. We have been moving forward with some of the activities that were identified earlier on this fall. And most recently, that included the kickoff meeting, which was held with the project committee. That, of course, is the committee that consists of the two city council appointees, the mayor and Councilman Bugle, as well as the EDA chair and vice chair and city staff, including the city manager. That meeting was held on October 22nd, and we convened with AECOM, your real estate development consultant, to discuss the planning process for the solicitation of development interest for the site. We do have some items that are highlighted on the screen, and we will be working towards over the coming month. And the first is a stakeholder engagement meeting that includes those of you around the table on December 1st. Those meeting invitations have gone out. That will be held in person here in this room with the representatives from AECOM and the Charette Agency, which is their PR firm and team member on the project. So we will convene that morning here. You've each got our time slot identified. In addition to yourselves, you'll likely have a member or two of the city council attending that meeting where there will be some dialogue and information exchange with AECOM for the purposes of developing the solicitation package for advertisement early next year. There is a second date highlighted on the screen, and that is for the presentation of the cooperation agreement at a upcoming work session with the city council. So that will be on December 8th. I plan to attend that to present the item that was reviewed and approved by the board, I believe, at your September meeting. So we will be briefing the city council on that, and then following that meeting, we would be looking to get that on an agenda for formal approval. That would likely happen in January. The third highlighted item in terms of next action items is a public workshop and RFQ development process, which we'll be working with AECom to hold two community workshops. We'll have some additional discussion on that in your next agenda item, but that's scheduled for the December, January timeframe, with an ultimate goal of having the RFQ issuance occurring in February 2026. We still maintain the overall schedule with developer selection by fall of 2026. So we're on schedule. I think some of the individual milestones have shifted slightly, but we're still looking at trying to meet that fall.
Where is that PowerPoint for the citizens?
I'm sorry.
Man, this is,
Where's the PowerPoint for the citizens?
Excuse me. We can't entertain questions from you? You know that. Okay.
Well,
Nope, that's it.
I'm in control of this meeting.
Okay.
good. Are there any questions on the timeline?
Right into the AECom consulting services.
In advance, just one more slide, please. So we do have an item that we need to revisit as it relates to AECom and their contract for services. You did approve at your August meeting the contract as it was presented in their proposal. That value was $169,610. The proposal also included an optional add-on for additional services, which included those public meetings that I just referenced in your timeline. It was proposed that there be two public engagement workshops, which is really kind of an open meeting for the public to attend. You can see here on the screen, there is a breakdown of what those services entail, but essentially it's two public workshops in the December, January timeframe that their team member, the Charette Agency, would be leading. And that would include, in addition to the meeting itself, some advertisement and public outreach to generate a large attendance and audience, as well as some surveys, and then a website, a microsite dedicated to obtaining public input and feedback for the project. That's an $18,000 add-on cost. So essentially, we've got kind of a change order here that's being proposed for the contract. Should you choose to move forward with the public engagement workshops, that's something previously you've indicated the desire to do, but there is an added cost for them to provide that service. So what we are asking for today is your direction and authorization to proceed with that additional work at a cost of $18,000. That would amend the contract amount to $187,610. We're just looking for your guidance and authorization today.
What's the microsite consist of?
It would be just a landing page, essentially a web page for the project that the public could access. It would have information related to the project.
That's grossly overpriced for microsite. For landing page and 6-month hosting, that's a lot.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear all.
He said it's way
Grossly overpriced. That's a lot of money for just a landing page with 6-month hosting.
Okay.
But they also would be updating a page as information became available.
Yes, for a 6-month period, it would be maintaining this page while we're in the solicitation process. So it's not specifically just for the two meetings. It's a microsite for that period of time where the solicitation process is under development and being advertised.
So for the microsite, what information, so you're saying the microsite is going to be available to, what information is it conveying to people? It's about the solicitation and the process by which we go about procuring the developer, or
It would be a branded microsite with a homepage. It would include information about the project timeline and engagement sections for the general public to provide input through a survey, which would be a custom digital survey that would be prepared, integrated, and embedded in the microsite. It would include information on events, promotional banners, and calls to action for the public, as well as post-meeting content updates, including visual recaps and summaries, and then maintenance of the site for a 6-month period.
So it's home base for where we're gonna be gathering feedback and input from citizens
That's
while we
correct.
go about the planning
Yes.
process. Should that process take longer than 6 months? I imagine there would be additional fees for longer hosting time of the website, things like that.
Potentially, if that was something you decided to keep up for a longer period of time. But they would essentially run that in tandem with the,
Yeah.
the process, solicitation process.
Yeah.
I do think we need that, and the only question is in their original bid for the work. I'm surprised that they did not include that type of thing, knowing that you would need that as a part of the process.
It was included in the proposal, but it was included as an add-on service.
Oh, it's good.
So when we approved the contract, it was at kind of the base value. So this was an additional service should you decide to utilize it, which you can choose not to. But this is additional work that was discussed as part of the project committee kickoff meeting, that there was a need for additional public engagement beyond your public meetings, city council public meetings, and stakeholder engagement meetings. So this is kind of a larger effort to do outreach to the general public.
Are you looking for a motion to approve?
If that is the EDA's desire, yes. If you'd like to move forward with the public engagement meetings, we would need a motion.
I would make a motion to approve the add-on service.
Second.
Motion second is further discussion on the item.
Could we possibly inquire about additional fees, in case this goes beyond the 6-month duration?
And a summary, a breakdown of those fees, because I mentioned it because that's a field that I work in, and I know that amount could cover at least 2 years of hosting with just the page that you talked about. So if they could give us a summary of what you mentioned, a lot more than a landing page, so that all of that could go on a landing page or it could go on several pages. They need to give us more information on what the microsite is going to consist of.
Okay.
And a summary or breakdown like exactly where's the $4,500 in that microsite going to? Is it all going to hosting? Is part of it going to their people that's maintaining the site? Is updating the site? Where? Just itemize the $4,500.
I would suspect that it's going to the design, the build, the creation, the maintenance, the updating, the responding to correspondence that's coming in, answering.
Yeah, we can guess about anything, but that's a lot. I could do that in 35 minutes in my office. So $4,500 is just, I'm questioning like what the items are that's included in that.
In terms of timeframes, the public input sessions are scheduled for when again?
They have not been scheduled, but the December, January timeframe is what we're targeting. So there's
Okay,
no
so
specific dates yet.
okay, if this site, this element of the project needs to be sort of up and running at the time of the public engagement.
It would, yes, sir.
We didn't approve.
So I think timing is critical. If we delay.
They need to hurry up and give us a itemized response. If timing is critical, they need to get on it right away.
Yep. Point being is that our next meeting is December. And that's when the site needs to be up and running. So we would not be able to make a decision before the thing is, I don't have any problem getting the detail on there. I just concerned that we need to have this component of it operational fairly quickly.
If we have a motion, so let's attack that first. We have a motion to approve
And for the second,
in a second.
Okay. Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Barber,
yes.
Mrs. Saunders Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Brown,
No,
Mrs. Cherry,
Yes.
Mr. Harmon,
Yes.
and Mr. Morgan. Yes. Item is approved by a vote of 6-1. Thank you. We're going to move on to district updates. We're going to transition. Ms. Chop is going to, before you provide some updates on the Lake District.
Good morning, everyone. So the first update I have for you all this morning is for 1028 High Street, the proposed demolition of the buildings on 1013, 1015 Queen Street, as well as 1028 High Street. As I reported at the last meeting, the bid package has been posted, and we had a very successful mandatory pre-bid meeting at the end of October. It was very well attended, and so we do expect to get a number of bids on the demolition project. The bids are, the deadline for submission is today, actually, at 2 p.m. And we will hope to have a notice of award in short order. And we also were able to schedule this capping of the sewer and the water, and that is scheduled for weeks. So that'll facilitate the contractor obtaining the building permit or the demolition permit. Any questions?
So Julia, your estimate, do you think we'll start seeing some removal by the end of the month? Certainly, I know by the first of next month.
Do we have to, approve the contract, at our next board meeting?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, your December 16th meeting, you would have an item on the agenda for approving the contract amount award.
Not that this is maybe that important, but do we have the vehicle for, approving things outside the meeting electronically or otherwise, or does it have to be in a?
Or to defer to the city attorney.
Yeah, it has to be in an open meeting.
I can just go back to that, but processing here. So basically, we can't move forward until the contract is approved at our next meeting. Is that correct? So at the minimum, we're not going to see this started until sometime third week, possibly December.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, your approval at the December 16th meeting would be for the contract award. The contractor would then be notified. It begins notice to proceed. They would need to mobilize. So it is going to be somewhat dependent upon their schedule and availability in addition to your approval of the contract.
Are they given a timeline and to which it has to be completed?
Julie, I don't know if you can speak to that offhand, but
There is a timeline, or I know that they're in the contract or in the bid package, it does mandate that the work has to be done in a certain amount of time. I'm not exactly sure what that amount is. I believe that it does indicate that, and we can definitely have dialogue to let them know that, we want this to move very quickly. And I think that the fact that we'll have the water and sewer connections, and we already have all the other utilities cut off. So the the building permit process, I would assume would go very, very smoothly. We could get that in short order once the award is notified and the EDA votes to approve the contract.
I think we're good.
Okay. Next slide, please. All righty, so for 1117 and 1121 High Street, as you all are aware, we have a construction documents for the renovation and the roof replacement on these two buildings, and the bid package has been posted. November 7th was the date of the posting. And today we actually have a non-mandatory pre-bid conference at the site. And then the bid submission deadline is December 16th at 2 o'clock. So that is moving along, and I hope you guys are happy to hear that it has finally been posted, and we hope to get people responses and submissions from that. So based on this timeline, we would likely be able to vote on the contract at the January EDA meeting. For 1220 High Street, the construction documents for the exterior renovation of this property were received, and they were submitted to the various departments for review. The building department has approved the plans. We are anticipating that the zoning permit and the engineering review will we will get a feedback in this week actually, and this project is on in line with our projected estimated date. The November 29th is when we projected that the city review would be completed. So we're looking like we will achieve that. So that's good. And for 934 High Street, all the utilities have been activated. Dominion came to this site last week, I believe, and we were able to get the power turned on. And we have tentatively scheduled the EDA site visits for December 10th. So be on the lookout for details on that. We will schedule times for anyone that would like to attend that and check out the properties then.
What was the date?
December 10th.
Okay.
And that's all I have for you. Any other questions about any updates? Thank you. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's not.
The property at 934 High Street, what is the process for us to try to figure out all of the specification needed for it to be developer ready? I mean, so, because there's a lot in there, there's walls that are not unfinished, beams that are hanging. What is that process like?
The process for what?
To make the building developer ready?
So I believe that one of the purposes of the EDA visiting the site would be to help determine what our next steps are, to see if we want to go through the process of creating somewhat of a vanilla shell like we're doing for 1117, or if there's another route that the EDA would like to pursue. Brian, I don't know if you want to.
I guess my question is, if we make a decision to make it a vanilla shell, what is that process? Who does that work how is it expended to, what is the cost associated with it potentially, who absorbs that?
So I think it's, as Julie mentioned, it's really kind of the same process you're undertaking for 1117 and 1121 High Street. We would need to bring in an architect, to have them come up with a sort of, design documents for renovating the property for that vanilla shell space. As part of that process, we would have them prepare a cost estimate as well. And ultimately, based on that, you choose to issue an invitation for bids or, take some other direction, but that would be for you to determine.
And in your experience, most of the time, do we have to do that work prior to a developer coming in, or sometimes will developers take the building as is and do their thing?
Well, we can certainly market the property in its current state if, work with a buyer to allow for them to come up with a plan for utilization of the property. So that's certainly something we can do. I think everybody's in agreement, we want to see this building preserved, renovated, and revitalized. So it's probably just a matter of who's going to do that work and ultimately what you'd like to see there. But there's as you'll see on the tour on the 10th of December, there's quite a bit of work that needs to occur inside the property.
Question. So in the meantime, what is the process for getting those string lights in that alleyway and connecting them to that new building?
Yeah. Well, great question. That's something we've talked about before. Now that the utilities are on and connected, we can look to do that. I think that in the interim, if you wanted to light up the alleyway there on Wall Street, we would need to bring in a electrical contractor to have them install exterior service on the rear of the building. We have been in communications with Support Portsmouth Public Art for them to solicit approval from all of the adjacent property owners, which they've begun doing. And we would need to probably have some sort of agreement with them to allow for the lighting to be attached to their structures. So
Okay.
We've started that process, but the next step would be to have electrical service installed at the rear of the property outside. So we'll be working to get a quote proposal from an electrical contractor.
A question for Jeff. If we do the tour of the building and more than 3 or more of us to show up, do we need to advertise?
I think it depends on what you're gonna do. If you're just gonna see it, then I don't think it's necessary. If you're gonna discuss what to do with it, then it's a meeting. And I think we should advertise the meeting.
I was thinking we would like schedule time slots for people so that it would just be, 2 at a time.
Yeah, if it's not technically a meeting, then it's no issue.
Okay.
So it sounds like we need Julie to follow up with a schedule for meeting times that
Yeah.
each commissioner can reply to on their availability.
Thank you.
Thanks, Julie. Brian, small business loan grant program update.
Yes, Chair, we do have an item that we've been looking to, I think, bring before you for some time, which is our small business loan program, which we have been working closely with Bridging Virginia, who was the successful respondent to your RFP for the program. And we have representatives here today from Bridging Virginia, Leah Fremo and Nahal Basti, who are both going to present on the program to include the program parameters with a goal of launching here in the coming month of December. So Leah and Nahal, I'm going to turn it over to you. We have a podium up there if you'd like to stand, or we actually have some empty seats there at the end of the table if you'd like to join us at the table as well.
Sure. Join the table. Is there a clicker or?
We just direct Lemire to advance the slides. Our clicker is not cooperating this morning. Please join us at the table. Thank you.
Thanks for having us this morning. Leah Freemount, I'm the president and CEO of Bridging Virginia. Next slide. Cool. If you want to go ahead. Just quickly, a little bit about us, and one, thank you for, selecting us to partner with the EDA on the loan fund, because Bridging Virginia, yeah, that's what we do. We do small business financing, and our whole mission is around creating capital opportunities for businesses and communities that are traditionally left out of those opportunities. We are a nonprofit certified community development financial institution, or CDFI. And the most important part of that, I think, is the CDFI status, which is a federal certification that we achieved in 2024. And that means not only that we have built the infrastructure to do our work well, but our mandate is not only part of our mission, but is now federally required to do a minimum of 60% of our services and financial activities in our target markets. In other words, underserved, under-resourced communities, and focusing on the small businesses and nonprofits in those areas. Next slide. How are we different than other lenders and even other CDFIs is the fact that we do every day, we do loans from 1,500 or 15,000 to 100. We also have a partnership with the Metropolitan Business League, who runs one of the only Kiva hubs in the state of Virginia. Kiva is a crowdsourced loan at 0% that starts at 5,000. So when Bridging formed in the height of COVID in 2021, we were very intentional about picking up at the 15. Kiva goes from 5 to 15 with that partnership. We pick up at 15 and now successfully been able to get up to 100,000. And that size of loan is also important to note, because even in the best of times, that type of lending is hard to get for a business owner with great credit and a great track record. Bigger institutions just don't do it. It's very expensive, and it causes business owners to get high credit cards, fast cash lending, and other things. So that size of loan is also what we're built for, which is important to the loan fund that is being stood up through the EDA. Next slide. One more. Our approach is really focused on the business owner. Lending institutions, as they're supposed to, are really focused on protecting the money. But when we started this, it was really about the humans and the communities that we get to work with. So our driving values and everything that we've built, from the team's approach to our support to how we underwrite, is focused on care of the client, care of the community. We view our work, even the underwriting process, as a collaboration with the business owner, and we will customize and right size that capital tool to what they're actually solving for, not just what fits a checkbox. And the capital piece is, again, the thing that we do a little differently and a little bit more innovatively, and why we formed. The capital was missing from the market, not necessarily the support services. So we're focused on the care, the collaboration, and the capital that we bring. Next slide. Just as an example of the care and the collaboration, these are just some high-level examples of real clients that we have where they had a certain loan amount with us, but the more important things are to talk about their technical assistance and the impact. So, we're walking them through, hand-holding them through our loan process, but also they've already maybe had a debt relationship, or they're being, approached by investors. And so how we support them through that process, maybe connect them to a resource that's different than ours, because we might be too small. Maybe they need 200,000, or they have an investor that, if the terms are focused on them, they're not giving away ownership or control of their business. And so we sit on that side of the table with them and help them navigate those pieces. And that's what our technical assistance looks like, where we focus on the capital acquisition. And if there is like a marketing or a strategic plan or even a business plan writing, we're not built for that. But we have great partners like small business development centers, the MBL, and others that we refer and track and expect them to come back with their homework done around their financials. So the technical assistance our team focuses on really is about the capital readiness. Next slide. So why are we here today? Please keep going. One more. We started this conversation probably about a year ago. I think the EDA has had a goal around providing more resources for the business community in the city. And so lending capital, is usually, I would say, almost always a gap, depending on, it doesn't matter what type of business you are. You're thinking about your budget and your money and stuff. And so with the public dollars that EDAs across the country and in the state have, having those dollars be more flexible and patient and focused on the business's success ultimately than the city's success are the goals around this loan fund. And so the program structure is developed to provide that type of capital, support the business growth within the city, and ensure that the money is going into the hands of the business community that can't access it through more traditional means. Next slide. So what we have pulled together in partnership with Brian and Autumn and other stakeholders at the EDA is this program design that we wanted to talk to you about. I'm sure the RFP, we wrote a lot of this out, but these are the highlight reels right here. And this really actually mirrors the current process and credit policy that Bridging already has. So it's right in line with how we already do our lending activity. And we're just basically adding the Portsmouth focus to the work that we're already doing. So with the goals of the EDA at this current moment, with the different corridors and businesses, the second and third stage businesses really are where we're going to focus in marketing and outreach. It doesn't mean that a younger business that is kind of currently cash flowing and maybe they're 12 months old. They're not a pure startup where they haven't even incorporated, but they would be a startup in a traditional sense because they're under 2 years old. But focusing on that business that is growing into its next version of success. So second, third stage is where we're focused on initially. The loan amounts, 10,000 to 50,000 is where we think will have the most impact. On average, Bridging Virginia's current portfolio is about 37,500. So this is right in line with what we're seeing in Richmond and other parts of the Hampton Roads region. And again, we'll fit that market gap that currently exists here in the state. Our rates, specifically to this program and even Bridging's, will be focused on the Wall Street Journal's prime, but we're going to start 2% lower than what prime is that day. And then through the underwriting process, we are looking for ways to even discount those rates. So if they have a relationship with a small business mentor or have gone through a cohort or an accelerator program, we view that as a risk mitigant. So we're going to check that box and they might get another 0.5% off on the rate. Again, where we're looking at what the business needs to be successful, cash flow is very, very important. So even if the monthly payment is $40 to $100 cheaper, that's $40 to $100 they're spending on their business and not spending on debt. So we're looking at ways to do that for them in the underwriting process. The uses that we have seen, just generally speaking, and what I think aligns with this program's goals are things around working capital. So businesses need money to make payroll gaps, do some marketing. Maybe it's having a contractor for a little while to work on a strategic plan. But that working capital bucket is really built for the business's autonomy because they know what they need. Us, kind of monitoring how they're spending the money is not what we're built for. We need to trust them to do their business well. And so that working capital bucket is really important. It's honestly most often requested in our normal day-to-day. Equipment, real estate acquisition, and improvements within their current facility. Another thing that I think is very important, and you all agree because it's in the program design, is the refinancing of high interest debt. While we, Bridging Virginia through its credit process, we do pool credit, soft pool, and then we do a hard pool later in the process. It is not a decision-making tool for us in the underwriting standpoint. What it does do is give us a lot of information on where they are currently and what kind of things, they have going on that, suck cash out of the business. And so the ability to look at that, see some merchant lines, see some toast loans or stripe loans, that are 11% off the top of their profits daily. Again, having the ability to refinance them from a 22% to an 8% loan, that's a huge cash makeup that they can make if they're paying less debt monthly. So again, the ability for this program to do that for your business community, I think is really, really important. We're not just funding everybody. In the financial world, we call it the sin industries. The EDA and the city of Portsmouth has some priorities around what wouldn't be a fit for the community goals. And so those are layered into the credit process in our program design as well. Next slide. So how have we set this up? So this is a partnership, and you will see here some of the high-level bullets of our roles and responsibilities. But essentially, once we launch later in December, it will be, built and executed as a partnership. Nahal Vasti will be leading this for us. He's here locally. He knows the market. He's been here for a while, has the relationships. But we also need the support of the EDA with the programs that Autumn's running and her resources to her ability to kind of capture certain businesses and get their attention around capital programs. That partnership is going to be really, really important to kind of build the trust and build the pipeline, if you will, into this loan fund. The other things, your guys are relying on us to do what we're built for. So we do lending every day. So us, doing the loan application through an online portal, doing the underwriting, then once the loan is closed, we service that on our portfolio and manage the money and the payments. It's always an ACH, so it's automatic once we set that up with the borrower. And we'll keep that, separate from our normal resources. So your loan fund is evergreen. And so all the interest payments and fee payments go right back into that pool of money to be relent. And we will report out not only on the loan portfolio monthly, that's an easy spreadsheet we can send to the team, but also quarterly we'll provide this group with activities and kind of the community engagement and the business support services that we're getting requested for the most. So again, the learning as far as what the business community needs and how that changes over time is baked into what we're doing and providing for the EDA and its staff. And then again, I've mentioned this is a partnership. We will need Brian and the team to help us, not only with the marketing and outreach, but helping us learn as your priorities change and as things like the Link District and others kind of get some energy around it. What is now different 12 months from now, where this loan program can provide capital to the contractor or to the business going into these built out spaces. So again, that learning and that relationship is really important to us as the success of this program ultimately is the success of the businesses for the city. Next slide, please. So a little bit about the process. All of our, as bridging is a newer CDFI, one thing that we did early on was add online capacity and support. So the loan application and all of that is online. That will be customized to the Portsmouth-based businesses. There's some bullets there about our underwriting criteria. Nahal and I can answer more specific questions about that as we get into it. But the commitment, once we go through the process, to have an approval decision within 5 days is very important because we got to let the businesses know what they need, or if it's not right now instead of an automatic yes, how do we get them to a yes? And we want to keep that moving for them forward. So again, these are just some high level bullets of what we do as far as managing a loan fund. You all are not our only local government or EDA client. And so we provide these services for the city of Norfolk, Stafford, and Henrico County. Also, the city of Richmond is using us for their loan review or loan portfolio review and some services there. So this is just a high level of the servicing and kind of portfolio management work that we do. And we'll provide that as part of this relationship going forward. Next one. So the timeline for where we are, we have already put together some ideas and some like templates for a press release and some things that we'll partner with Autumn on, but we'd love to get the word out in the month of December and then have, applications start coming in the new year. So this is, we think, a very, it's moving, but not too aggressive, where we can really kind of check some boxes, make sure everything's working before we open up the online applications for folks and start to bring clients into the loan program. I did want to ask Nahal, if you don't mind sharing a little bit about some of the partnerships and things, back to kind of, again, what the businesses need for success. It's not the capital is very important, but usually it's other things that get in the way of their success, and it's the soft skills, it's the focus on the budget management. And so Nahal is already working on some services there, and we'll touch on that.
Yeah. Morning, everyone. In terms of the specific partnerships, I think that we have pretty great connections with local technical assistance providers, and then also just other organizations that can also offer assistance. So for instance, if there are other lenders who might be able to kind of help out with other financial I guess, needs in terms of the capacity. Or for instance, we spoke about really quickly business planning, even just general business operations. It's these services that we really feel like are going to be able to kind of offer wraparound support and allow the, I guess, dollars to really be maximized for each of the businesses. So, I mean, not just only are these riders in Portsmouth, but they're also around the region, allowing businesses to kind of connect with access through, I guess, our services, but also just to providers that are able to offer other services that are a little less local. And so, yeah.
So we're already in the conversations with the SBDC here, Black Brand, the NBL is a partner with us. We share an office space in Norfolk, and actually the NBL has a co-working desk at Bloom that the hall has access to. So we're working to kind of formalize some of those partnerships. So the referral expectation is in writing. But we already have some of those relationships, and we'll just enhance them.
What has been the delinquency rate that you've experienced? You don't have to, in general, you don't have to say a
Yeah.
specific city, but
So, so it's not a fair question for bridging because we're brand new, so we don't have any. We do have 5 clients out of our 33 that we are on what we call an extended care plan, which means that they have either, honestly, what's cool about the work we do is that the businesses come to us like when trouble starts. And so we've been able to maybe create interest only holidays and stuff. So that those 5 clients are on a care plan so they're not delinquent yet because we're working with them and we've restructured payment expectations to fit where they are right now. CDFIs as a sector in the financial community, their charge-off rate, which is where you just can't get any payments anymore and you write the loan off, is less than 1% across the sector. And so bridging doesn't have any charge-offs yet because we're a baby CDFI, but the industry as a whole, I think we're tracking along with those lines because, we work with the businesses to ultimately not get them to a charge-off or a collections process.
it's good.
And if you don't mind going back 2 slides, I had a couple questions about something I saw. Your credit policies, they'll be made available for the users to see, of course, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And the type of collateral that you're looking for against their loans, what could you explain that, please?
Yeah, thank you for the question about how we share with the businesses, because bridging is a signatory on the Small Business Borrowers Bill of Rights. That was one of the first things we achieved in 2023. And what that means is that they underwrote us, they assessed our policies and gave us, and we enhanced them around transparent communication, around terms, expectations. And so we have signed on to that and our paperwork kind of matches that. So does our process with them as they're getting ready for the deal. And then, the collateral. We also do not want to, impact the businesses negatively in any way if we can. Back to the soft pool on credit. And we're not going to take collateral on any personal assets. So a person's home, personal vehicle, et cetera.
What's the personal guarantees will be required then?
That's from this. So let me finish on the collateral.
Okay.
So we'll put UCC filings on business equipment. If it's a refrigerator or there's computers or something, we do that as part of our process. And so that's where the collateral will stay.
Okay.
The personal guarantee, we require that anyone with 20% or more ownership in an LLC or ownership structure needs to be involved in the deal. And so the personal guarantee as a business owner comes into the expectation of the relationship that we establish with them.
Yeah.
I will say that sometimes we've gotten in there and we might have a husband and wife team or a partnership like that. And maybe one of those business owners is not able to guarantee. And we understand that, we work with them on that, and we'll make what we call a policy exception and just have the stronger business owner as a guarantor on that deal. And that's done on a case-by-case basis.
And how often will you report back to us with the loans, and will it include your denials and reasons?
So the portfolio servicing, that would be a monthly financial report. kind of money out, interest rates being paid back, those types of things. So that's something monthly we're prepared to send to Brian and the team. And then quarterly is where we were gonna provide the kind of business support and activity in the city back to this organization. We could probably, I think, in those quarterly reports, highlight some of the reasons for denials. I just want to set this expectation now. The confidentiality of the business clients is important. And so the reports will be cleaned of business owner's name and address, unless we have permission specifically from that business owner to talk about them. But you would get a high level overview of restaurant, this amount of loan, we met them, they needed, help with projections, and we said yes because it cash flowed, or we said no because they lost the lease on the building. It'd be high level things at this point.
Another question regarding marketing to the small businesses here in Portsmouth. What is your intentional? You want EDA to work with you, Portsmouth to work with you, but what is your initial marketing strategy for the small businesses here to let them know that this new loan program exists for them and what the?
Yeah, in a few different ways. We'll be working with EDA staff, to get the word out. We'll also be working with our partners. When it comes to these technical assistance providers, in case you're not familiar with the term, really all that means is it's an entrepreneurial support organization. And so they already have pipelines of businesses that are going through their cohorts, where they're training these businesses. And even here, not too long ago, there was the Portsmouth Procurement and Contracting Institute that graduated tons and tons of businesses that later went on to successfully obtain contracts. So, when it comes to cohorts like that, we'll be able to be in the room, have those conversations with those businesses and let them know. And especially because they're already going through some of these technical assistance programs. And again, it's kind of a way that we help mitigate some of the risk. This also makes sure that, we're getting the dollars out to those right businesses.
Okay, I understand it's easy to contact the people that you're already in contact with, but there are so many businesses, such as my business, that don't go through none of those programs, and they would like to know about this information as well. So how are you going to contact the people that you're not in contact with? It's how you're going to market to those people that you don't normally reach.
Yeah. So, but that's when we wrote that in, so we have plans in December to do, information session similar to grant programs. And then we'll do our quarterly programs and include the loan program into that, information session as well. And like Carl said, the programs that we're pushing out, those participants will be feeders into the loan program. So we have intention on doing the Contract Institute again. Those would be ideal candidates for going into the loan program. And then the other programs that we offer as well. We will have a landing page on our website to advertise the program, and then we will market our typical way through constant contact and on social media.
Yeah, and the program will live on our website as well. Autumn mentioned information sessions, and then a press release too, will be part of the launch. That's what we did for Enrico and City of Norfolk. And the webinars and information sessions specific to this loan program are recorded, and then we can, repopulate those as needed too.
And the business plan is required, and we're starting a business plan, a 6-week business plan course in January that will run quarterly, and those individuals can complete a business plan to pursue the loan program as well.
For new businesses that need business plans.
And so I am also local. We are actively in the community. So even if you're not at participating in a cohort, if you're at some of these small business events, or some of our even our private partners, like some of the other lenders in the area, will reach out to us and refer to us clients through that way. So I mean, there's going to be multiple different ways for business to hear about us.
Good.
Mr. Chairman, I'm excited that we've reached this stage. It's been a long process to go through, and my kudos or congratulations to Brittany, Virginia. They submitted. They were one of several proposals that they had, but the by far the most comprehensive proposal and the one that showed the greatest local support for this effort. A loan program of this nature is difficult to administer, and I again appreciate that Bridget, Virginia is willing to partner with us to launch this effort. It is a piece of the small business support efforts that we have been missing here in Portsmouth, and I think this is a tremendous opportunity to provide lending capital to a lot of businesses that we have not been able to serve prior to it.
Fully agree.
Who else do you?
With that, I make a motion that we accept go forward with the program.
Second.
Have a motion and a second for acceptance of the program and plan launch. Or any discussion on the item? Hearing none. Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Barber,
Yes.
Mrs. Sandra Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Mrs. Cherry,
Yes.
Mr. Hartman,
Yes.
and Mr. Morgan.
Yes.
Chair, the item is approved by a vote of 7-0. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Autumn.
Good morning, everyone. Today I'll be presenting on the Smart Start Business Development Grant and the Smart Start Acceleration Grant. So I'll start with the Business Development Grant. For fiscal year 26 to date, we have had 24 grant applications received. 13 of those grants have been approved, 9 have been awarded. Of those 24, 26,000 funding was approved and 18,000 was awarded as of last week. Of those participants, 83% were SLAM, 15 women-owned businesses, 1 veteran-owned business, and 18 minority-owned businesses. For round 2 fiscal year, October 25, that recently closed, we had 14 grant applications. We had 3 grant applications approved. Of those 14, 6,000 was approved, and we've yet to award those grants. Of the 14 recipients, 85% were SWAM participants, 10 women-owned businesses, 1 veteran-owned business, and 10 minority-owned businesses. For the Smart Start Business Acceleration Grant, for the fiscal year, we have received 6 grant applications. 1 grant application has been approved, and to date have been paid out. We have, of those 6 applicants, 5,000 was approved, and pending funding currently. For round 2, October 2025, we received 5 grant applications. 0 have been approved yet. Those participants, 80% were women participants, 4 women-owned businesses, 1 veteran-owned business, and 4 minority-owned businesses. Question? Thank you.
Thank you, Autumn. We do have one additional slide for the Business Investment Grant Program, and that's on the Real Property Investment Grant. See the numbers there on the screen. We have received and approved with award 25 grants to date. We do have 2 items for consideration for you as well this morning. And you can see that of the approved funding year to date, we're at just about $309,000. We've got a balance of about $41,000 still remaining in the program for the fiscal year. You funded that in the amount of $350,000. So we are coming up on full allocation of the program here by the second second round of funding. We do have some additional applications that were received in this last round that we will not be able to fund because we do expect to deplete the funds today. There are no questions about where we stand with the program. We do have two applications for consideration for you this morning. So it's okay, Chair, we'll move forward with those. Lemire, if we could get the advance one more slide. There we go. Thank you. So 1308 Airline Boulevard. This is a space that has been a yoga and wellness center for a long time. It's Pure Wellness, which does business as Xenia Yoga Studio and Academy. In addition to yoga, it's a massage and wellness center. They also have a tenant, a commercial tenant, which does some sort of auction, commercial auction services. The yoga studio, the business, has recently purchased the building from its previous owner. So they were a tenant. Now they are the owner and occupant. And as part of their new ownership interest, they're doing some upgrades to the property. And one of those is the replacement of the old air conditioning unit, which is, as you can see in the photos, is quite dated. It's not efficient. It does have some operational issues. So they are putting in a brand new system for all of the spaces, including the lease space. And that does also require some minor roof repair because of the replacement of the rooftop units impacts the roof a little bit. So a total project cost of $47,739. They are requesting a 50% funding of that amount at $23,869.95. So this will allow for them to operate more efficiently and also lease out any additional commercial space that they have to a tenant. It's okay to advance the second item. Do that. 503 County Street. We have an application from Amber Ashley and Company. This is a salon and spa personal services business. You can see the space there. It's on County Street at Dinwiddie. It's dated. There's a need to do some interior build out to include bathroom renovations, new flooring, HVAC systems, lighting, and then interior walls, partition walls, and painting. So really a full interior renovation. The project cost is $49,729.78. We are only able to allocate 34% of their project cost due to the limitations on the funding for the year. So that would be $17,131.55. Bringing your total program award for the year after this application, should you choose to approve it, to $350,000. You will exhaust the program funding with the approval of these two applications.
And we would not be accepting applications until the next fiscal year.
That's correct, Vice Chairman. That would be July 1 would be the launch of the program again, first round in fiscal year 27. So we will be closing the program after these 2 years.
Do we have monies in other grant programs that would allow us to do the maximum request of the ones we're doing 34%?
You do have funding. We would need to do a budget amendment to move monies within your budget to allocate additional dollars. But you have the ability to do that. Should you choose to. Last year, I do believe we made some adjustments to the budget. The discussion, I think, when we were in the budget process this year was that we were going to stick to the $350,000 amount, which is why that was included, but certainly do have the ability, if you choose to amend the budget.
Will they be able to move forward with this project with that limited funding?
They may need to adjust their scope of work or look for other funding sources. keeping in mind, this is a reimbursement-based program, so to do any of the work, they're going to have to come up with that upfront. This will be returned to them after they've documented their initial expense.
Well, I would like to, request that we do a budget amendment. Funds from another one of our grants that would allow us to complete that one request up to the maximum amount that it can get, with the 34%, so that's the amount we would need.
Which programs we have a surplus in?
We have 100,000 in the business development, and we just spent 18,000. And we had 50,000 in the acceleration, but we took 50,000 ahead to the property investment grant.
There could be other budget items or line items we could take from.
We do exhaustive.
Forgive me, I'm just doing the math here. Looks like you're going to need to, in order to fund this at 50%, which would be a grant of $24,864.89. You will need to move $7,733.34 from a different budget line. So we could take that from the small business development grant, acceleration grant,
Or we could also take it from fund balance.
so we appropriate, we just move some money around.
Fund balance,
Yeah.
okay, let's do it that way.
So
Well, and that's fine, but I thought traditionally we always had a surplus business development every year. Is that, no? Okay.
We remember we took $50,000 out of the accelerator grant, pushed it into the real estate grant this year.
So the real property investment grant budget has already been increased once for
Yes.
this year.
it was originally 300,000. This year we 50,000 for the acceleration grant to the real estate grant. So that amount has already been increased.
Yeah.
So you'd be increasing it another $7,700 this grant.
Yeah.
Um,
I like Jeff's proposal, just take it out of fund balance and shift it into there.
So,
Just the one comment I would share is did receive other applications that we
all right,
not brought before you because there's not sufficient funding. So I just want to make,
we're only just requesting.
only funding
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is what's been proposed, but you've got other requests there that are received and not proceeded with. So I just want to
All right,
make.
but
that
those they
clear
can
to you.
reapply in the next round.
If there's funding available, but that would be July 1 of 2026. So that would be the next opportunity. And those projects likely, that's a 6-month period.
I would just ask the staff to review the applications that we have, and then if if you think they're warranted, to make a recommendation back to the board.
But with what money?
Correct.
Because right now we've maxed out what we've already distributed. And what we're requesting now is to reallocate some funds just to get this person to the 50% match, which is the maximum that they could receive, but we've already maxed out. And what Brian is saying is that there were applicants that maybe could have been considered for a little bit of what was left, but they were not because they were working under the understanding that we had maxed out our budget.
Yeah, so we should pretty much move forward with the current budget and not move any funds around. Just let them be, because it's not fair to give them a full amount and decline other people by saying the budget is over. We're over the budget, but we can't give you money for your projects because we're over the budget. But we're gonna put some more money in the budget to let this guy get up to the maximum amount. So I don't think that's fair to the people that's being excluded or not being considered. to have money allocated for just, if we out, you out.
Did they apply to
What
the
I've
full
learned
board?
that is money can be moved anywhere they want to move it, but in all fairness, it's just like the people who were excluded because of the funds ran out. And it wouldn't be fair to put just enough money back into the fund to help one person.
Well, I mean, if we were talking about an additional $50,000 or something like that, I could see your point. My point is that that little bit amount of money could cause them not to really be able to finish that project. And if we have monies and other grants, because the grants end at the end of the year. So that surplus from that money at the end of the year goes to the other. So if we have surplus in another grant, then I think we should complete that so they can complete that project since they have already been approved.
I think they could also go back and reevaluate, like, hire a cheaper painter, buy a cheaper air conditioner. I like to save money. So I like to, reevaluate where money is being spent and know exactly where every dollar's going. And they could probably make some reconsiderations and get that balance down $7,000. So it can be 50% of what their total cost is.
And again, arguably, it is still a reimbursement grant, meaning if they didn't have the money to do it in the get-go, they wouldn't start the project. So this is just something that's great to have this funding available, but at the end of the day, you should have 49,000 to start the project to completion so that you can get money reimbursed back.
Are you looking for a motion? For direction or another?
Staff needs direction for how you'd like to proceed with the two applications that have been presented as they've been presented. But if there's a desire in addition to that, to make some sort of amendment to your budget, we probably need to have that action.
I move forward as presented.
A second.
So we have a motion and a second to approve the applications as presented. Bear with me just while I capture a little bit. Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Yes. This is for approval of the applications as presented. Mr. Barber?
Aye.
Mrs. Saunders Smith?
No,
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mrs. Cherry?
Yes.
Mr. Harmon?
Yes.
And Mr. Morgan?
Yes.
Chair, the motion is approved by a vote of 6-1. Thank you. Okay, we're going to on the annual business appreciation event. Just want to share the date. So please hold December 11th on your calendar. This is the annual event that we hold to recognize our local businesses and their achievements over the course of the calendar year. We kind of roll that into a holiday party. So that will be held on December 11th. A save the date with additional details will be forthcoming, and I just want to make sure that you have this on your calendar. So please stay tuned. You'll likely receive an email from me today with that information, and we hope you're able to attend.
Question, Brian, can we invite Virginia to this event so they could speak to the businesses about the program? That's the initial marketing.
Yeah, so yes, to answer your question, Commissioner Brown. In fact, one of the things we've talked about doing was making an announcement at the event.
Okay.
Using that as an opportunity with a large audience to make the program known to them, its availability. So we're kind of using this as a little bit of a launch party, I guess, in addition to the appreciation event.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yes. Yep. Great idea. You're thinking along the same way that we are. So. Appreciate that.
Brian, I would like to suggest that next year we look into reformatting the event and seeing what the cost would be to have a sit-down dinner and use as an opportunity to recognize, for example, maybe Small Business of the Year and other businesses. Made some great progress, and it's an opportunity to really tell a story that I think may be of some value to us. If the price makes sense. I don't know what the comparison would be between a sit down versus what
We can find out. I'm sure there will be a difference, but we can definitely research that and find out. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
And something that we can certainly look into.
It'd be nice to have a convention center to do that in, right?
You've given us enough time, I think, to do the research and prepare charity for that. Okay, very good. Chair, we do have a need for a closed meeting. And there is a meeting resolution that's.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I move to go into closed meeting pursuant to the code section 2.2-3711 A.3 for the purpose of discussing acquisition or disposition of real property where the discussion in an open meeting would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the public body, specifically regarding strategic acquisitions and disposition of 301 Columbia Street.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the item? Hearing none. Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Barber,
Yes.
Mrs. Saunders Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Mrs. Cherry,
Yes.
Mr. Harmon,
Yes.
and Mr. Morgan.
Yes.
The item is approved by a vote of 7-0. We are now in a closed meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I hereby move that each commissioner certified to the best of his or her knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from the open meeting requirements under the Freedom of Information Act, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion, which the closed meeting was convened, were heard, discussed, and considered in the closed meeting just concluded.
Second.
Motion and second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Barber,
Yes.
Mrs. Saunders Smith,
Yeah.
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Cherry is absent. Mr. Harmon is absent. Mr. Morgan, absent. Chair, the item is approved by a vote of 4-0. You are now back in an open meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I would move as a result of our discussion in closed meeting that we authorize the staff to enter into a lease with the Portsmouth Behavioral Health Services for 301 Columbia Street, Suite B, at a term of $800 a month for a period of 6 months with an option to extend the lease.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the item? Hearing none. Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Barber,
Yes.
Mrs. Saunders Smith,
Yes.
and Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Here, the item is approved by a vote of 4-0.
Item submitted by board members.
I did have one, but I wait the next meeting. Take it on for this week.
So Chair, just one item to share. So City Council is reading a new book titled Walkable City. It's authored by Jeff Speck. Given the work that y'all are doing on downtown and the Lake District, I encourage you all to think about picking up a copy. There's a lot of insights. Speck is an urban planner focused on making cities more walkable, and given the direction we're headed with downtown and the links to become walkable. There's a lot of interesting insights in that book. So I bought copies for the parking authority just this past weekend because there's a whole section in the book about dealing with parking challenges. So y'all might consider equipping yourselves with a copy because I think it will be insightful as we're working through some of the things that are ahead of us.
Just a thought here, we did Greenville, we did the Innovation District study. We have Walkable City. Should we be investing in a consultant that does this kind of work that helps us understand? I just don't know. Do we know where we're going? We're getting a lot of input, but
Yeah.
where do we want to go?
So it's a great question. I hope that the consultant that's helping us with the Crawford Bay property can help in that regard, taking aboard the things that we're all learning to try to help us make good decisions about where things are going. But it may be worth exploring because there are some things that were uncovered for me anyway in this read that kind of contradicted some of the things that we've been talking about both downtown and in the link. But there are also a lot of things in the book that reinforced the things that we saw in Greenville, the things that we've been talking about for downtown development and link. So yeah, we may want to consider if the consultant that we've hired for Crawford Bay isn't the right place to help us tie it all together, then maybe we do need a consultant to help us tie it all together. And kind of going back to the discussion we just had about the link, having a consultant advise on what ought to be first, second, third, and fourth when it comes to tackling property in the link. As a consultant could maybe advise us, is it light that we ought to go first and whole block property second, or what strategy should we be employing to prosecute development in the link? It's worth a conversation anyway.
I was thinking along those same lines. We're gonna have a link meeting after that, and that's
Yes.
gonna be one of my recommendations. We needed a consultant.
Any report backs?
No, Chair, we don't have any report backs for you.
Yeah, appreciate everybody's participation, and I think we got a lot done today. This meeting is now adjourned.